You didn't like the way that we started this. Come on.
Yeah,
there we go, right? We have to get on the right cues,
Yeah.
the communication that happens with everybody you work with, right?
Yeah.
What's it like getting into chemistry and sync with all those receivers? We look about it, you come in as QB1 and you spread that ball around pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like we did a good job this offseason bringing a bunch of guys in. And just seeing throughout training camp, we just have a bunch of guys that can play ball. So I try to disperse the ball throughout all those guys, and I think it opens up our offense more, just giving all those guys a shot to make some plays.
What is the challenge of that? Because we know you got a little bit of time with the ones during the offseason and training camp, but that was maybe what coach would say 20-25%. Is that about accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, and then during the short week, how much practice did you have with the ones?
Well, we had one practice,
Right.
and it was kind of half speed, so again, there wasn't really much to work with there. So
what goes into trying to be able to do what happened in that Thursday night game for you then without those reps that QB1 would normally get?
I think it's something that you kind of just go back to, one, just playing football that we've been doing for so long, and two, going back to the mechanics. I threw to those guys in training camp a good bit, so just kind of going through the timing and playing the playbook. And again, I think we did a pretty good job last night.
Pretty good job. Thursday night, prime time, everybody is watching. You go out there on the short week, not as much practice, but you have career highs in completions and passing yards. Do you pay attention to that, or what stock do you put into those numbers?
Not much. Again, you could throw for 400 and 5 touchdowns and still lose, and it doesn't mean anything. So as long as you get the win, then the stats are kind of cool. But again, the win is the biggest statistic.
Okay, then what does mom put into those stats?
She doesn't really know much. Again, she's all about winning. So she was really excited last night.
The familiarity that you have with Scott Turner, every time we talk to him, look, we know that going back to the history, he was one of the scouts that came to you, coming from a smaller school, to be able to scout you, gave you that opportunity, kind of got you into the NFL and back into the NFL again after being out for a few years. How much does that familiarity with what he wants to run and what he wants from you kind of help you in those moments?
Yeah, it's huge. Again, I've been in this offense for 4 or 5 years now, so when we're going through game plans, I know what he's looking for, I know what he's trying to accomplish, and he knows my strengths and weaknesses. So, we kind of go back and forth through that, and I think we work well together.
You know his system. He says you don't go off script. He still has a script, but you have the ability to extend plays. But you also called an audible with J.D. McKissick. What does that say about their kind of faith and trust in you to be able to allow that to happen?
Yeah, again, having that trust in me and that faith in me, it's huge. And again, them giving me the opportunity to do that means a lot for me. And again, if it helps the team, then great. So again, that look and that specific moment, running the ball with JD was the best option.
A lot of people ask me kind of what confidence they can actually have in you. And my answer usually is, if I ask anybody on this team what confidence they have in you, they don't hesitate to be like, he's a baller. Like, we're behind him. What does that mean to you, though?
It means a lot. Again, my first start was in Carolina, throwing 3 picks, tearing a tricep. It was tough, and that was kind of how my career ended. And then coming back last year and going against Tampa and having a good game gave me a lot of confidence, and having those guys just building confidence and trust in me, and it means a lot. So obviously Chase Young has been a big believer since the beginning, and again, him being a believer, I think that trickles down to the whole team as well. So hopefully we just keep this ball rolling.
Let me also ask you this question then too, because we're in it and we're calling the game, and I'm not going to say I had any special powers in this, but right before the interception, I was like, Chase Young has been amazing in this game. He hasn't made a mistake, hasn't thrown a pick. All the faith is in the world, and literally the next play you go out there and you throw that pick. But what is going through your mind knowing what is on the line, where we are in the game, and what it may cost potentially?
Yeah, so it was a kind of interesting moment in the game where they had a couple timeouts left and a 2-minute warning, so they essentially had 3 timeouts, and Graham Gano was kicking out of the ball, honestly. He was making every field goal, so we wanted to kind of end it with the offense on the field, and it was a little aggressive play call, but we wanted to get that first down and end it with us on the field. So Bradbury made a great play. I probably should have thrown it to Antonio Gibson in the flat, but again, I think it speaks to the team and the resilience that we had coming back with a interception, going back down and scoring. So it was a good team effort.
And you also had that drive where I think it was like 17 seconds, 2 plays. We said, you know what, maybe it was too fast, but it also showed everybody what you're capable of doing. What is the faith that you have in what you're capable of, knowing your offense, knowing the guys you can get that ball to?
Yeah, that play was specifically made for JD, and we got the perfect look for it. And JD runs great routes. He has great hands, and he makes things happen when the ball's in his hands. So he ran a great route, got a good catch, and I thought he was going to score on it. And the next play, Ricky Seals-Jones made a fantastic catch in the end zone.
He did.
So that was a really cool drive.
It was fantastic. And of course, we're giving some props to Dustin Hopkins as well, as
Absolutely.
how that finished. Game ball to Hopkins, game ball to yourself. Very well deserved. Let's step back a second and kind of start from the beginning. Old Dominion, a smaller school, dealt with some injuries, decided not to give up. You were out of the game for a couple of years before you finally got this first career start. What does that game on Thursday night and the win mean to you in your journey?
It's a big weight lift off my shoulders. Again, just kind of going back and just never gotten that win, and that was the biggest thing. So, again, like we said earlier, it was a great team effort. The defense kept on battling. Hopkins kept on making big kicks, and it was a full team effort. So, again, hopefully we just keep this thing going.
Yeah, okay, you're giving credit to a lot of guys for making plays and for Hopkins for winning that. But how much do you sit back and say, wow, I'm doing this? Because you were out of the league for 2 years. You could have given up. And I don't know many people that would sit back and still keep working at their craft for 2 years without having a job to work for.
Yeah, so let's rewind to last year when I wasn't playing. I was still training, but I was training because I like to stay in shape, but I was also training a bunch of high school and JUCO kids. And I feel like that made me better, coaching them, seeing them get better, and seeing some things that they were having trouble with, and I kind of saw myself. It helped me in the long run. So, again, I'm just proud of myself for sticking with it, and hoping that there was another opportunity, and fortunately there was.
And again, Turner kind of gave you that opportunity.
He did.
Being the one that scouted you at Old Dominion, you don't get a lot of scouts coming to a smaller school, right? And
No.
he was the one that visited, gave you that opportunity with the Vikings, gives you the opportunity with Carolina, gives you the opportunity with the Washington football team. How is that kind of relationship and the trust, maybe even friendship, I don't know, kind of helped you be able to get to where you didn't give up on yourself?
Yeah, so again, last year I called him and I was like, hey, do you guys have an extra coaching spot that, I can come maybe?
You called for a coaching spot.
I did. And he said, hey, first off, you need to get a degree. So that was that. And
Do you have it yet?
I don't. I have 2 classes left.
We've got to wait on that one.
And he's like, and secondly, don't retire just yet. With COVID going on and with injuries, you just never know what's going to happen. We might need you later in the year. And sure enough, I don't know what week it is, maybe week 11 or 12, they bring me up to be emergency COVID quarterback, and a couple of things happen here and there with injuries and stuff, and I'm thrown into the game. So it's been a roller coaster of a year and a half, but again, I'm just really happy to be here playing football.
What do you think it is that maybe he knows about you then, maybe in calling those plays to kind of help you out?
Again, I've been with him for 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and most of the things that he's seen from me has been preseason games, and so he knows what I'm good at and what I'm kind of not good at. So he kind of makes the game plan work around that, and we have great communication with each other. If I don't feel comfortable with something, we let each other know, and then we'll go from there. So we have a great relationship, and I think it's just getting better.
So where do we grow from here then? What's next? What are we working on?
I don't know. Just keep getting
How do
wins.
you follow up that Thursday night performance?
Well, if we go up to Buffalo and beat a really good team up in Buffalo, that's the next goal. So if we can do that, that'll be a big step for us.
Is there a message you have and you say when you address the team?
Yeah, there's not a specific message. I just think being myself, kind of bring that fire energy, kind of that underdog type of deal. I think a lot of guys gravitate towards that. So, again, I think the guys really appreciate it, and they get a little bit of energy from it.
Do you enjoy kind of proving some of the haters wrong?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's fun.
It's a nice way to clap back.
Oh yeah.